can't get up and do a whole thing here. Last time I did that, I was winded. By the time I even got to like 8:01, 30 seconds, I was already breathing hard. So this one's a much more strategic couple of jabs, stay in the seat, not move too much type of a thing. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a nice Thursday here, October 24th, right on the dot here, 8 a.m. Right on the dot here, 8 a.m. Got a lot to get into today. I got some BS stuff for you guys. I got some sports stuff for you guys. By the way, we got an NFL game on tonight and a game that I actually am interested in watching. Minnesota and the Rams, little Vikings-Rams action. Got some NBA games that are going on tonight as well. We're back, everybody. Tomorrow we got game 1 of the World Series. I already told you guys about, I've already given you guys kind of where I am with the World Series. I already talked about my dad being from 55th and Brooklyn over the river, over the bridge. You guys know what I'm talking about. We had that Romeo's, we had the pizza shop over in Harlem on the Bronx side of Manhattan. We got a lot of good stuff, and we got a lot of freaking good sports that are coming up or right on the horizon here. So we got a lot to get into. By the way, I'm going to just kind of warn everybody here real quick. If you randomly hear just a bang at the door, there's a reason for it. I'll tell you guys a quick story real quick. Then we'll get into everything. Everybody just relax. Relax, all right? It's my freaking show. We'll start the show when I'm ready. We have so this little office space that I'm in. Next to me, there's a place that basically rents surfboards, kayaks, wetsuits, all that stuff. By the way, can I get a cut? I think they're doing pretty good business-wise. So they got a dog over there. Dog's name is Brody. Show you guys a little photo of Brody. Brody was already here this morning. Can you guys see Brody pretty well? Yeah, there's Brody. Brody. Good dog right there. Brody, by the way, is a female dog, not a male dog. I know you're saying, what the hell are you talking about? Why is it named Brody? I don't know why. I think he thought in the beginning when he got the dog, I think he thought it was a male, named it Brody, and then just left the name as it is. Anyways, Brody decides whenever she wants to come by, because I have a little bag of treats for her. Whenever she wants to come by, she just demolishes the door to let me know, hey, I'm at the front door. Where the hell are my treats? So Shorty came by today. She hasn't timed it yet during the show, but I got a feeling that's going to happen one of these days. And when it does happen, I got to pause the show. That means Brody's ready to eat. That means Brody, whatever she had, yes, Brody, whatever she had for breakfast over there, when she comes over here, it's like a whole new ball game. And there isn't really even a negotiation. She's just like, get me my stuff. And I'm like, okay, hey, my bad. Slow down here. My bad. So just a heads up on that. If you hear basically the door coming down, that's because Brody wants a treat. All right. You guys can look here on the left-hand side. These are all the topics. I would say left-hand side, but your right-hand side. Here are all the topics. I got a couple things. I do want to hit on a couple NFL things or a couple football things I want to hit on first. I don't know if you guys have been keeping track, but because Rams have a game, I have had no opportunity to talk football on this show, only because there's just too much other stuff going on. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but one thing on the Rams and kind of their current situation, are they going to go make some trades? Is Cooper Kupp, is his time just numbered with the Rams? Is Matthew Stafford actually going to get traded? A little bit on that. There was a hype video that it came out about a month ago or so. And I want to actually play it for you guys because I think you guys will think it's interesting. USC and Lincoln, or USC has got a new facility that they're building. There's been a lot of chatter about Lincoln Riley. Does this guy stick around for the next couple of years or not? What his payout's going to be? Clippers opened up their new arena yesterday. Got some questions about that. Yeah, I don't know if they're Clipper fans. I have no idea. But I got some questions. Already got some concerns with the Clippers in their new arena. They opened up their new arena yesterday. Steve Ballmer did what he was doing. A couple updates on Freddie Freeman. Looks like he's going to be good to go to start the World Series tomorrow. And then a couple small little Laker things that I got. Sammy Long, who you guys know was putting out those preview videos for us. He's going to come on at 8:30, and we're going to chat a little bit about Lakers opening night. Lakers coming up against the Phoenix Suns tomorrow. They got Sacramento on Saturday. It looks like I'm going to be at the game on Saturday in Sacramento or in LA, Lakers and the Kings. So I'll be there for that. All right. So little NFL action. Can I ask everybody here real quick? Who's your team in the NFL? I have no idea. I'm going to be genuine on this. I have no idea. People who tune into me or tune into the Sleewa show or have tuned into me in the past, all my Laker coverage, I have no idea what their affiliation is in the NFL. We got Rams fans on here. Do we have Raider fans on here? Do we have Niner fans on here? Do we have Charger fans? I have no idea. But I would like to have a little bit of an idea of who people root for in the NFL. So feel free to put that in there, and this will kind of take me to my topic, kind of driving us where we're going here. So Rams got a game tonight, like I mentioned, Thursday Night Football. Really excited about that. I love watching Thursday Night Football. They're teams that I care about. I care as in I'm interested in. I don't have a team in the NFL. For those who know me, used to be a Charger fan. I'm an ex-Charger fan, no longer a Charger fan. Why? Because the dumbass owner took a team that was in the city, San Diego, for 50 freaking years and took them up to LA, and LA does not care that they're there. He's a dumbass. I no longer have an NFL team. Still watch the NFL, but I no longer have an NFL team. I don't know if you guys saw these stories over these last couple of days, and I think this is so difficult for teams in any sport and organizations to figure out. When do we go all in, and when do we realize, hey, this is not our window, we got to start rebuilding? I think a lot of people will make the case over the last couple of years. I've heard people talk about that with the Lakers. Hey, do Lakers really have a shot at winning an NBA championship? Or are they basically just going to ride out this LeBron era? And then whenever that ends, then they're going to try to retool. They're still going to sell tickets. They're still going to pack the arena. They're still going to sell merchandise. They're still a commodity where 40, 41 nationally televised games, even if they're not competing for an NBA championship. I've heard people talk about that when it comes to the Lakers. And whatever team it is that you root for, I'm sure there's a time that you're asking yourself, like Dodger fans, you're kind of always all in. And the way baseball is set up and the way the Dodgers have ran their organization have done a really phenomenal job of basically saying we're going to make the playoffs every year, and then we have no idea what's going to happen from there. There really isn't a rebuild for the Los Angeles Dodgers. There really isn't a certain teams, it doesn't happen, but that's not the norm. The norm is at some point you got to figure out when's your window, when's you're not, or when's not your window. Last couple of days, when did this start? Yesterday or the day before? All the chatter about, hey, Cooper Kupp might get traded. They're looking for a second rounder. Some teams that were interested. I saw Kansas City Chiefs. I saw their name being thrown out there. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was fascinating. I'm like, damn, so are the Rams just are they punting on the season? Are they saying to themselves, yeah, we don't have a shot? By the way, it looks like I was reading an article right before the show started because I'm a respected journalist that does a lot of reading before my show starts. Rams optimistic wide receiver Puka Nacua will make return Thursday night versus the Vikings. We already know Cooper Kupp's going to be back tonight. So Rams are just starting to get their pieces together. Oh, by the way, if you go look at the standings, they're 2-4. But it's not like anyone has run away with it in the NFC West. And who's on top? I mean, Seattle's on top right now. And I want to say they're 4-3. So what are you, a game and a half behind the top, the top seed in your own division? The 49ers have their own issues. I mean, major issues with their injuries that they have. And they're, there's no consistency, at least for them right now. The division's still wide open. Are the Rams, a team that went 3-6 last year to start the season, are they thinking of, no, let's just blow this whole thing up and let's get the hell out of the mix here because we know we don't have a legitimate chance to go make a playoff run? Last year, they started the season out 3-6, and I watched some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life. I remember there was a game. It was the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams. And it was the Packers were clearly struggling as well. Stafford was out, and I can't remember off the top of my head who the starting quarterback was for the Rams. It's irrelevant. The point was it was awful football, and you looked at both of these teams. You're like, these might be the two worst teams in the NFL. They both end up making the playoffs. The Rams just a couple plays away from beating the Lions. The Packers should have beat the San Francisco 49ers, a couple plays away from making the Super Bowl. Everything kind of changed as the season went on. it surprises me a little bit that the Rams, if they do try to go out and trade Cooper Kupp, if they do shop Matthew Stafford and say, hey, this window is over, this window is done, it's a little surprising to me just because of how the Rams, how they performed last year, how when everybody kind of thought like, all right, this team is not going to go anywhere, they're not going to do anything, and then all of a sudden made some real noise. It surprises me that 6 games into the season, they could already be punting and saying, we're done. By the way, tonight's game may determine everything. If they win tonight and they're 3-4, and now all of a sudden they're right in the thick of their own division and they beat a good Minnesota Vikings team, I want to say that are 5-1, then maybe that conversation is over and they decide, all right, everybody relax. Let's just see what we can do here and let's keep trying to build off of this. If they lose tonight, then they're 2-5. Still not out of it, but they're 2-5. And maybe then they start making different decisions. I thought it was interesting. Years ago when the Rams won the Super Bowl, when I was at 710, we broadcasted down in front of the Coliseum. And that's where they were doing the parade. And we got a chance to talk to Les Snead. And Les Snead, the general manager, did we talk to him there or was it over the phone? I can't remember, but we were down there anyways. Les Snead was talking about the GM of the Rams. He was talking about how you got to know your window. And this is one thing that I think a lot of franchises in sports either don't know their window or don't want to admit what their window is. What do they say in the NBA? The worst place you could be at the NBA is right in the middle. If you're a 8th, 9th seed, that's just awful because not only are you not going to make any noise once you make the playoffs, but you're also not bad enough to go get a real draft pick. Like people look at, I'm going to use the NBA as an example. People look at teams like the Portland Trailblazers or the Pistons or the Utah Jazz. I'd rather be those teams than the team that's going to be 9th or 10th in the Western Conference, got in the play-in tournament, was not able to make any noise, and then also does not have a strong draft pick that's coming up. So I use that. The Les Snead thing, that always stuck with me about, do you know what your window is? I don't know. I think there was a lot of question marks with the Rams coming into the season. The problem with them is they've been hit with so many injuries early on. But are they looking at this team? Is Sean McVay looking at this team? Is Les Snead looking at this team? Are they just saying, why are we going to go all in on a season that we don't think we can really make some noise in? My only hesitation with the Rams, and I listen, I don't say this for every organization and for every team because it certainly doesn't apply to everybody. I think the Rams are run really, really well. I think the Rams, and a lot of it has to do with Sean McVay. Give him all the credit in the world. I actually give him more credit. And if you want to give him credit, you're not giving him enough. That's how good of a coach he is. And that's how kind of a pioneer he has been and really has kind of changed the way a lot of teams look at coaching. They went a lot younger. They're taking a lot more chances. If somebody becomes an assistant coach with the Rams, then they're saying, well, why did Sean McVay decide that he wanted that coach to be the assistant coach? Then we got to figure out if this guy can be a head coach for our team. I think he's incredible. But I think the Rams are run really, really well. And when the Rams make decisions, my instant gut reaction is, oh, okay, well, they know what they're doing, so that must be the right move. Certain organizations, right? And I'm just talking the NFL. If KC does something, if Baltimore does something, I think in the past Pittsburgh has that reputation. I'm just thinking of teams that have had success for multiple years in the league. And then there's other teams that might have had that. The Patriots used to be that. They're no longer that. That happens. The Raiders clearly don't have that. When Raiders make a move, it's like, yeah, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Chargers were in this position, I think, for a long time as well. But that changed. You get Harbaugh, and all of a sudden people look at the Chargers a little bit differently. But their window and what they end up deciding to do, I'm just a little surprised just based on the success that they had last year with the slow start, the fact that they've had so many injuries that potentially these guys are on the table. Cooper Kupp was asked about this yesterday. So he was basically saying, said all the right things. I'm just focused on, the game at hand. And I've been a Ram for X amount of years. He's going to say what he's supposed to say. But it'd be fascinating to watch. Fascinating to watch tonight. Fascinating what happens tonight, and then what the trickle effect is for the Rams based off of all of that. All right, let me look here because I did say what is everybody's allegiances. What teams are they typically rooting for? I got some curiosity on this. Tommy, thank you for the super brother. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Cowboy fans, I'm not listening. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that I know exactly what's going on with Cowboy fans, but I always feel like that fan base has the most unrealistic expectations, and walk into every season like they're the biggest, baddest, no one can stop them, and then 4 weeks in, you just they fade into the sunset. Like I just kind of find it actually pretty funny. Top of the morning to you, by the way. Hope everybody's enjoying a nice cup of coffee. I'm ready for some more Lakers basketball tomorrow. Can I tell you guys that? Yeah, sure. You got the TV on. I had a cousin of mine. We went to go get a slice of pizza yesterday. Huh? First, we said we're gonna go get a cup of coffee, which I did, and then we ended up getting a slice of pizza. But you're looking at all the TVs. Come on, man. Sports is back. I don't care about the Clippers and the Suns, but the game was on. At least the game was on. All right, here's what we got here. Mike Lopez, SD Raiders. Hey, I'm down. Anything that's against the Chargers, I'm in for. I got an Eagles fan here. Be a Rams fan. I'm out. I got nothing. In the NFL, I got nothing. I got no loyalty to the NFL. They stabbed me in the back. They didn't even stab me in the back. When the Chargers went to LA, they didn't even stab me in the back. They looked at me right in the eyes, and they say, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. I'm going to stab you right in front of your face, and I'm going to give you a heads up on it. It's the worst way to go. All right, let's see what else we got here. Coop knows they want to trade him. Chiefs said Rams shopped him before they got Hopkins. Okay. Couple others. Cowboys here, a couple others. Rams here, a couple more Raiders here. So, okay, I got a little bit of an idea what everybody's affiliation is. A random Lions one here. Lions, I don't mind rooting for. I got to be honest with you. I don't mind rooting for the Lions. I kind of like what they put together there. Raiders, obviously a Raiders one there. Okay. All right. Okay. We got Slee, I agree. RIP Chargers. By the way, I don't want them to rest in peace. Rest in peace is somebody I respect. I respect that piece. I'm gonna play a quick hype video for you guys here real quick. It was like I want to say maybe a week and a half ago or so, maybe 2 weeks ago now. And I'll get to some, if there's more of this NFL stuff, I'll get into it. A couple weeks ago, I was talking a little bit about USC, and SC's in an interesting spot. They got a head coach that they paid. What were the reports? It's definitely over $100 million they paid for Lincoln Riley. I'm going to start transitioning to some of this SC stuff. If there's more left on that NFL stuff that you guys want, put it in the comments and I'll get to it. USC spent over $100 million on Lincoln Riley. Obviously, they decided the Pac-12 wasn't big enough for them, and they decided they're going to the Big Ten. UCLA basically said, hey, we'll be in the passenger seat. Tell us what you need us to grab from the kitchen, and we'll grab it. Basically, anything you say, USC, we will do, and we will serve as proud Americans. That's basically UCLA when it comes to SC. That's the power SC has. SC decides we'll move into the Big Ten. The entire Pac-12 collapses after that. SC was the first domino to fall, and it was really the only domino that needed to fall. If SC decided they were going to keep the Pac-12, Pac-12 would still exist today. I talked about it a couple weeks ago that I wonder if these guys are ever going to, I know they'll never admit it, but I wonder if there's a time that they decide or behind closed doors that they regret, man, we should stay in the Pac-12. We should have went and tried it. We should have been the aggressors out there and tried to add schools in the state of Texas or in Florida. Go find those, maybe grab a school from the South and really shake things up, but make the Pac-12 stronger, and USC would have been on the top of that food chain. Anyways, didn't happen. They decided they're going to the Big Ten. Very, very disappointing start for USC and Lincoln Riley. And I'm talking about this season. They're 1-4 so far in the Big Ten. They have losses to Minnesota. They have losses to Maryland. Those are the two losses to only pay attention to. Okay. The Penn State loss. Penn State's a top 5 team in the country. That's a tough game. But you were up 14. I can sit here and talk about it and complain. Michigan, you had chances to win. You lost that game. You had a really nice win to start the season against LSU. But USC, when the dust settles, they're 3-4. And I was making the case of, talking about, will they regret the Pac-12? All right, put that all to the side. It doesn't matter because they're in the Big Ten, and that's where they're going to be. And that now they have to try to find a way to succeed in this new waters. Okay. Reading a lot of stories out there about Lincoln Riley. And remember when the season started, after they beat LSU, they followed it up with another win. I think it was Utah State. And they were as high as number 11 in the country. Right now, I don't know where they're ranked, but it's certainly nowhere near the top 25. Whatever. When they're 50, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You're either making the college football playoff, you have a chance to, or you don't. SC right now does not have a chance to making it. Seeing a lot of stories of, hey, they got to get rid of Lincoln Riley. They got to get out of this whole Lincoln Riley business. Do you guys know what the payout is to get out of the Lincoln Riley business? None of these are confirmed reports, but there's reports out there that it would cost over $90 million to get out of the Lincoln Riley business. I don't think that they should get out of the Lincoln Riley business. I don't think that. I don't think as of yet they should get out of the Lincoln Riley business. And I think all indications will tell you that they're not getting out of the Lincoln Riley business. But it would cost about $90 million for a payout. Jimbo Fisher, who was Texas A&M, I think was $75 million was that payout. SC ain't paying no $90 million. And I know how much money SC has. A lot of articles are talking about they got to get rid of him. A lot of SC fans like, you got to get rid of him. I disagree actually with that. And I'm going to kind of explain it real quick. Now I'm going to show you guys this hype video real quick from SC. Actually, I don't know who the hell is doing the marketing, the social media for USC, but whoever the hell is doing that, my God, they are killing it. There was the video after, I think it was leading up to the LSU game. There was some videos after the LSU game, and then there really hasn't been many videos because there hasn't been much to hype USC fans about. Give SC the rest of this year, or give Lincoln Riley the rest of this year, and give Lincoln Riley all of next year before you make any decision on Lincoln Riley. It was a long-term plan anyways. I think it was a 10-year contract. Here's the reason why I would not get rid of Lincoln Riley. Number one, who are you going to go out there and get? I know SC can go get big names, but the one thing that has not happened to SC so far this year, they're not getting their asses kicked. They're not losing games by 3 touchdowns against Minnesota. They're not losing games by 10 or 14 points against Minnesota. It doesn't feel like the players are quitting on Lincoln Riley. It doesn't feel like, are they folding at the end of games? Yes. Are they folding in the second half? Yes. They had a nice lead on Michigan. They lost it at the end. They had a nice lead on Maryland. They lost it. They had a nice lead on Penn State. They lost it. I think they had 2-touchdown lead on Penn State, 2-touchdown lead on Maryland. I can't remember Minnesota off the top of my head. It's not like they're getting their asses kicked. I don't think Lincoln Riley all of a sudden became a bad coach. I think this is an awful, awful, awful stretch for USC, and I think they will recover from it. The best thing Lincoln Riley can do now is win as many games as you can the rest of this season to just save face. And then next year, I think everything's going to be on the money. I don't think you get rid of Lincoln Riley, and I know there's a lot of videos out there saying get rid of him. I think give this guy the rest of this year, give this guy next year. If you start getting your asses kicked in games, if you all of a sudden are down, You play UCLA and you're down 2 touchdowns and the players look like they're quitting. That's a different conversation. I always, I joke about it because every time I feel like I listen to Lincoln Riley in a post-game interview, he always says, we're one play away from winning this game. We're one play away from being undefeated. We're one play away from this. Yeah, but you're not. But they are that close to winning these games, and they've had brutal losses, and it's on them, and it's really on the coaching staff and on Lincoln Riley. I just would not get – I would not overreact if I'm USC at this stage. It's your first year in the Big Ten. Yes, it's an awful start. Yes, you're 1-4, but I would not overreact. Let me play. This is one reason why. This came out about a month ago. SC is about to get a new facility, new home for USC football. They're going to get a new facility for the players and everything else. This shows you kind of the investment that's going in for USC, and this is part of the money that they're using to joining the Big Ten. And I'm sure the amount of money now all these top college football programs are making is ridiculous. Players now get to jump from team to team. It's a whole different world. It's college football and college basketball are changing in front of our eyes, and it's just big, big business. That's really what it is. This video is amazing, and I want you to pay attention to who's voicing the video. This is another reason why Lincoln Riley ain't going anywhere. Take a listen.
Since 1888, we've set the standard. In the city of champions. This is the home of national champions. And this is our new home.
Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion. On your knees, show your devotion.
The home of the Heisman.
I'm not here for bragging, boasting. Ain't bragging, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, hearts exploding. This is my magnum opus.
The birthplace of 176 All-Americans.
Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around.
530 NFL draft picks.
Are you with me now? Ready to put it down?
14 Pro Football Hall of Famers.
You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd. But still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me? Stepping up.
A home designed for the next legendary USC football team. A home designed for you.
You ready to take it higher? Real coming out your amplifier. Y'all want every black man to be rich and proud. Why these?
This is the home of Anthony, Marcus, Ronnie, Junior, Keyshawn, Reggie, and Troy. This is my home. Your home.
Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom.
This is a place to train at the edge.
You really ain't ready now.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because it goes for over 3 minutes. The point is that hype video, first off, that hype video is freaking really, really damn good. Second, listen who's voicing it. It's Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is voicing it. You think USC has any plans or interest of getting rid of Lincoln? He's in for the long term. I mean, again, I'm going to say what I said earlier. The only way Lincoln Riley goes is if they start getting their asses kicked in games, and you could tell that the players have given up on him. That's literally the only way Lincoln Riley leaves USC over the next couple of years. Let me read a couple of these here. USC may be losing close games, but that's because they're blowing leads in the last minutes of games. Look, it's a bad look. It's on your coaching staff. I mean, nobody's looking at this and saying this is not on Lincoln Riley's back. No, it's on Lincoln Riley's back. Here's another one here. I read Lincoln Riley signed $110 million, including free multi-million-dollar homes and 24/7. You read the right thing. That's exactly how they got him. Here's another one. Lincoln is a bum. I was excited when he was hired, not so much anymore. Couple things on the Pac-12. USC should have never left the Pac-12. I think there was still a home for the Pac-12, personally. I still would love to have seen the Pac-12 represent the West Coast. It's just not the world we live in anymore. Texas and Oklahoma, they left their conference. You know, we'll see what happens with the ACC. The Pac-12 was so much history, and I'm sure a lot of those schools were very, very proud to represent the Pac-12. It's nothing now. Now it's, Washington State, Oregon State, Boise State, San Diego State. They're just trying to piece together whatever's remaining of the conference. The only way USC escapes that contract if an NFL team hires him. I saw that too. I will tell you this. I saw that, and I don't think there's any NFL teams right now that are lining at the door for Lincoln Riley. A couple years ago, yes. When he was at Oklahoma, yes. After his first year with USC, yes. I don't think they're lining up right now. I really don't. John Castillo, that video got me pumped up to take a nap. That video, listen, well, I don't know how people are going at that video. Video is mid. Lincoln will be forced out if he loses California recruiting pipeline. I mean, that video is mid. It's a damn good video. I do 7 push-ups right now after that video. I'll do 4 consecutively. I'll stop for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll start after that. USC is trending down, and UCLA is trending up. Can't wait for game at Rose Bowl. Is UCLA trending up? I didn't know that. I didn't know. It's new information for me. All right. Let me welcome in my good buddy here, hardest working man in the business, a man that takes no days off, a man that is hustling on a day-to-day basis. Sammy, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, dude? How about you?
I'm good. I'm here talking a little. Okay, now you're actually a good person to lead right into this. For those who don't know Sammy, I'm sure everybody has a good idea who Sammy is now. Sammy's putting up all our preview videos leading into the next Lakers game. So tonight we'll have a preview video. He'll put up Lakers taking on the Phoenix Suns for tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. He's going to get you as much information as you need from a Laker perspective to get you ready for the upcoming games. You, my friend, are also a USC fan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just hit on, and we'll do this, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff. And I got a couple questions for you for Dodgers, Yankees as well. I just hit on, here's my thought process on USC. Okay. I know Lincoln Riley is getting a lot of heat right now. I know they're 1-4 in the Big Ten. They have some games. I don't even really care about the Michigan and Penn State loss, even though they could have won those games.
Yeah.
It's more, you can't lose to Minnesota. You can't lose to Maryland. I don't think they do anything with Lincoln Riley. I think you leave the guy alone, hope that he'll figure out a way to kind of close out some of these games. I give him all the rest of this year, and I give him all of next year as well before I'm making a decision. What do you think? Is that something you would do, or do you think the guy's actually on the hot seat?
Yeah, I'm with you, especially because Julian Lewis is the second-rated passer coming in next year. He's committed to USC. There's been rumors that Colorado was trying to get him. A lot of teams around the country, Ohio State, everyone was in on him, and Lincoln Riley pitched him and got him. If you fire Lincoln Riley, he's gone. He's only coming because, he's had 3 Heisman winners with Baker, Kyler, and Caleb Williams. It is so tough because all of these games is like so close. I mean, the Michigan game, they make the tackle. Okay, they maybe win that game. Penn State, I got to be honest, the call on OT, the no call, and the 2 pass interferences were pretty rough. Maryland was just pretty much embarrassing.
Kill, can I say this? We'll kill them with the Penn State game. This is something that they have a trend here that is an awful, awful trend. You can't get 2 touchdown leads and give up that lead. They've had critical errors at the end of games. The one thing I will say, and I think Lincoln Riley, this is I'm going to back him up on this. They're not getting their asses kicked, number one. So they're in these games. And I know that doesn't matter for playoff seeding. And number 2, I don't feel like these athletes have all of a sudden kind of said that, hey, we're not playing for this guy anymore. I don't have that feeling.
I don't think that either. And you saw it's crucial mistakes at bad times. The Minnesota game, SC was up 17-10, and Woody Marks fumbled at the 40-yard line. I mean, if they just kick a field goal there, they probably win the game. It's kind of these epic meltdowns. It is so tough. The only thinking of why someone would fire Lincoln Riley is if you don't want to let Danton Lin get away, who's completely changed the defense. USC better throw a bunch of money at him to keep him on the defensive side, because we all saw what happened when Alex Grinch was there last year. I mean, that was an abomination the last 2 years. They didn't play any defense. It's tough. I think
They'll pay him. I think they'll pay him. Don't you?
Well, yeah, it's like, because the defense has not been to blame. And you also got to think, like, getting in the weeds a little bit, Bear Alexander was a top transfer from Georgia. He's redshirted. He said, I'm not getting my playing time. Anthony Lucas, who could go to the NFL in the DN spot, out for the season. Eric Gentry, linebacker, just redshirted. He's doing a lot with not even like all of his top recruits, and they got some big guys coming in. So yeah, it sucks that they didn't win even 2 of those games to really still be in the picture.
Yeah, I'm always trying to kind of throw a curveball at you and say, let me find an area where Sammy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then you start talking about the offensive line. Come on, bro. Relax.
I was excited you asked me about this, because I never get to talk SC. I always get hated on. All my friends are Ohio State fans, so I'm like, here's what we're doing. You come on. The good thing is, I know you like all the sports, but we'll hit on a little bit of everything. Lakers, game 1 of the season. JJ Redick now undefeated as a head coach. I'm waiting for extension talk. I mean, I'm shocked here that there has not been an extension for JJ Redick. You sent me a text yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna tell everybody what you texted me. and I feel like there's a lot of Laker fans that have kind of similar energy to this. Somebody I think had put on TikTok, whatever it was, but it was basically a shot at Darvin Ham after game 1. And I was talking about this when I was doing the post-game show. I was like, Jesus, during the game, there is a lot of people that are talking, a lot of Laker fans talking about Darvin Ham in game 1. Like, what the hell's going on? Am I missing something? It's one game. Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are going to take time to obviously gel, but it seems like there's so many Laker fans that are very excited that Darvin Ham is no longer on the sidelines. Do you feel the same way? Are you kind of in that camp that is excited that he's not there? Yes, because you could just see it. I mean, literally, like, within the game, if Darvin Ham was coaching that game, what would have happened the first half, where the Lakers would have come out, they'd have been on fire. In the end of the third, they would have, when the Timberwolves cut it to 4, JJ Redick timeout immediately to stop. Darvin Ham would have let them get up by 10 and then called a timeout. And then it would have been the Lakers trying to fight back in the fourth quarter. They probably would have made it close because the Lakers are super talented, and they probably would have lost at the end of the day. I mean, it was literally a script every time that played out in games last year. In his adjustments, I mean, the constant switching in kind of like, I was so impressed defensively. I know the Lakers only shot 5 of 30 from 3, and that was kind of
okay. Can I say this? I want you to go back to your point. The 5 of 30 from 3, I'm a little optimistic about, because I'm like, all right, well, they're not going to shoot 15% from 3. This is the Lakers. They might. I mean, over the years, they haven't exactly been a 3-point shooting team. But you beat Minnesota, and you only shot 5 for 30 from 3.
Right, and you held them. I think it was with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Timberwolves had 50 points. I mean, and that's without Jared Vanderbilt. That's without your best defender on the roster. I loved what he did. He saw that, like, last year, D'Lo and Reeves, they were just too slow off the ball. Guys would take them off the dribble. He's just switching left and right. He's like, we're going to take that away from teams, and we're just going to play sound defense. And it was cool to see a coach that made adjustments. I know the video I sent you, they showed a side-by-side of JJ Redick drawing up plays in his first game, and Darvin Ham's be like, salute, hard work. I'm like, dude, this is not an after-school special. Like, can you actually coach like a little bit? So it was just cool to see. I love JJ Redick's debut.
Okay. By the way, I want you to save all of that, and then when the Lakers go on a 3-game losing streak, I want you to then react what happens, because here's what's going to happen with Laker fans. We know how this works. You win one game, and all of a sudden you're undefeated. You're the next Pat Riley and Phil Jackson combined. Maybe even Greg Popovich in there as well.
Yeah, throw them all in there. Why not?
Throw them all in there. But when you lose 3 games in a row and a couple bad losses, what the hell are the Lakers doing? What's going on with this front office, Rob Pelinka, all this? But that's okay. Like, that comes with the territory, right? Like, all coaches, whether you're good coach or bad coach, I think we got a lot to learn from JJ Redick. We have absolutely no idea how good JJ Redick is going to be. I have no idea how good of a coach he's going to be. But I do think that it feels like he's very, very comfortable in the role. It feels like this is something that, even though he doesn't know everything and doesn't know how everything's going to pan out and has got to go through all these different adjustments, let's see how it pans out. I don't want to get too excited about anything because he just started, but I do think there are a lot of Laker fans that think he's going to be great.
Yeah, and it was a good first game. Like you said, it's one game. But one thing we won't hear from JJ Redick, I would be very surprised, is if the Lakers lose 3 games, go, what's everyone so mad about? I mean, I don't remember that. Remember that Darvin Ham presser? Oh, I don't understand why we lost 3 games. Everyone thinks the sky's falling. I'm like, well, you're the head coach of the LA Lakers, and people are frustrated that the team has this much talent. They're not winning. I think JJ Redick will hold them accountable. I mean, I loved how he was getting up after D'Lo. He was getting after the refs. I mean, it felt like a real coach, and I was just excited to see it.
All right, so let me go back to the first game as well. Just a couple things that kind of stood out. You tell me, is this realistic or not? And I think every Laker fan knows the ups and downs of Anthony Davis, mostly ups. Like, let's be realistic here. We just have expectations for Anthony Davis that is, you have to be great. Is AD, I think, what was it, 36, 16, 4 assists, 3 blocks. I mean, he was incredible, just incredible in game 1.
Yeah.
Is the Anthony Davis that we've always seen, which is, I'm really, really good most of the time, but you're going to have days where you forget in the fourth quarter that I exist. You're going to have games where, you look back and you say, how did Anthony Davis, the best man on the floor, take 1 shot in the fourth quarter or only take 2 or 3 free throws throughout the entire game? Do you expect anything? Should we expect anything different from Anthony Davis from what he's been his entire career? Can JJ Redick change something from him? Is the fact that LeBron is now 40 years old starting January 1st or December 30th, whenever his birthday is, do you expect anything different from AD? Can he go to another level?
I do. And, obviously 36 and 16 every single night, that's not going to happen. But I love how JJ Redick's having him take some threes. That was a big part of his game in the 2020 run, a little underrated part. He take 2 to 3 threes a game. And he could
what's the right amount of threes? You think that is 2 to 3?
I think 3 is perfect a game.
I'm okay with that. I don't want 6 or 8 or something.
Totally. But it was like 2 years ago, last year, he took it completely out of his game, and guys would just be getting a head start defensively, just knowing he won't even put it up. And he made a couple big ones the other night. And I definitely think it's sustainable. I mean, Anthony Davis, if he's healthy, we would say this always, if he's healthy, played 76 games last year, could be a top 5 player. He has that kind of talent. He has that ability, and that's not even a homer.
Can I tell you something, Sammy? It's not even like, can he be? Of course. But I think my problem is, why isn't he? That would be the argument I make about AD. There's no reason. And you know what I don't think is respected enough in his game? AD could be the best player. Yes, he can drop 36 on one night. He could also get you 4 blocks and 2 steals on the other side with 15 rebounds. I don't think we appreciate his two-way play the way he really is. But ESPN did their rankings whenever it was a couple days ago. ESPN, I don't know if you ever heard of them. Small company, it's a startup. ESPN, they're trying to build right now. But they did their player rankings. He was 13th. Jalen Brunson was in front of him. Anthony Edwards was in front of him. I mean, frankly, LeBron was in front of him. I wouldn't put LeBron in front of him. No, but what you just said, can he be top 5? Of course he can. My question is, why isn't he?
To your point, I think we're going to need to see the fourth quarter where you mentioned earlier, because that was a big thing. I know most Laker fans were really fired up at the end of games, at the end of that series against the Nuggets. It was like, where is Anthony Davis? Why is he not calling for the ball? He should be the best player on the team. I do think it was encouraging. LeBron didn't have some big night. He had 16 points. So I definitely expect more from LeBron. He'll obviously be LeBron. Rui Hachimura, I thought, was excellent. And that was really cool to see him kind of shoot 50% from the field, get that 18, and just helping out in a night where D'Angelo Russell didn't play great. Austin Reeves didn't play great. D'Lo kind of got it together with that bucket, and then those 2 assists late in the third quarter when they went on the run. but didn't have some.
By the way, I tried telling Laker fans when I did that post game.
I was watching.
Yeah, I tried like, hey, but he had a nice stretch here. They didn't care. It's like I was trying to. I felt like a used car salesman, and I was really pitching a car, and they were like, "We don't care what you're pitching." I'm like, "Listen, but the gas mileage that this guy gets," and they're like, "Yeah, we don't care about your car."
D'Angelo Russell is the funniest player because he either goes from like the most beloved Laker to the most hated Laker within like a game. And it's not even close. Like if people like cut him, get him off the team, or he's like the number one scoring option.
No, you're 100% right on that. But you mentioned a couple points, a couple of the players that weren't playing well, they still got the win. I think Minnesota's going to need time. So I think whatever that Timberwolves team was that we just saw in game 1, it's going to look a lot different in a couple of months. Mm-hmm. They don't have Karl Anthony Towns, and they're trying to mix in Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, I think Kyle Anderson was another player that they lost. So they got some stuff to figure out, but I don't care. It's did you get the win or did you not? How did you look in the process? You mentioned Rui. Real quick on Rui Hachimura. Am I making too big of a deal on this? I think he is such an important player for the Lakers. Because I think when he has very average game, not even average, how many times last year did you look at the stat line? I'm like, this dude had 6 points and 3 rebounds. How? Yeah. How does Rui have 6 points and 3 rebounds? Am I being too dramatic when I'm saying that? I mean, I know what we say is the top 4 players on this Lakers team, typically without hesitation, it's LeBron, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. I really, really believe if Rui Hachimura can have a career type of year. By the way, he's getting paid $17 million a year, so I don't want to hear anything that the guy is getting compensated. He's got the perfect body and size for the NBA. You got height, you got length, you're athletic, you can crash the glass. Am I being too dramatic when I'm saying that I think he's such a key piece, and I don't think it's being talked enough about?
Well, he could be the Lakers' Michael Porter Jr., and as all of us Laker fans know, I mean, he has shredded the Lakers in the playoffs, and there's been no one to guard him. It's been, Jokic at times has even been held in check for some games, and Jamal Murray for some of those playoff games just goes off in the fourth quarter. But Michael Porter Jr. shreds the Lakers because they just don't have that kind of stretch 4, stretch 3 to go defend him out there. And he adds you so much length that I think you just can't. You obviously, D'Lo doesn't have – Eric, I appreciate it. So he has that ability to really be a high-end scorer. And you saw it when the Lakers traded for him from the Wizards a couple of years ago. I think Rui you saw also takes a lot of pressure off LeBron because he can kind of play that bully ball game a little bit. And it was encouraging. And you're right, he's making $17 million a year. So it's not, he's just making a minimum deal or a couple million. It's unfair
100%.
To expect that. He's also a good defender. He's a pretty overall surrounding good player. And it was. I hope to see more of that tomorrow against the Suns.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where it's like everybody says this guy's got so much potential, right? You hear that all the time. Okay, It's cool. Everybody knows he has a potential.
Yeah,
but
when are we gonna see it?
And I'm when I'm saying about see it, I'm talking about just consistently. He doesn't need to have great games for the Lakers. He just needs to be consistent. If the guy is if he's 15 points a game, and you grabbed yourself 5 to 6 rebounds and had a steal or a block or one of those, had some impact on the defensive side, that's all they need from him. I don't think they need anything more than that.
And that's what we know that D'Lo, like I'm always a big D'Lo supporter. I feel like I probably am more than others. And it is frustrating to watch at times. But
I feel like you run his marketing campaign. Like I feel like you work for D'Lo.
Yeah, D'Lo, we DM and stuff. We kind of figure out what his PR stuff, But like D'Lo, what D'Lo is. D'Lo's might get you 4 points a night, and he might drop 40. It's kind of, there's not really a lot of in between. It's that, and he's kind of been that his whole career. So we know what he is. If Rui and these other guys connect, Gabe Vincent, Reeves can just become more consistent, then you can afford a player like D'Angelo Russell to kind of be a little more up and down instead of relying on D'Lo to be getting 20, 25 a night, which you wish he would because he has that kind of talent, but he just doesn't.
All right, the one guy that I think all Laker fans are very, very excited about and want to see some more opportunities. I'm going to read this here. Give Knecht more game time. Listen, he played 15, 16 minutes. I mean, for his first game, I think the Lakers have given every indication possible that Dalton Knecht's going to be part of that rotation. There's nothing that led me in the preseason to think different. In the first game, he had a couple of opportunities, and by the way, shot 2 of 4, hit
three was great over the middle.
Hit the 3, and Lakers only hit 5 threes to begin with. He only took, I can't remember off the top of my head how many threes
he was 2 for 4. I don't know how many threes he took, but he was 2 for 4.
2 for 4 from the field. How do you think Dalton Knecht is going to, as the season progresses, more teams are going to know about him? How do you think he's going to have his impact on the team this year?
It's kind of the biggest blessing in disguise that Bronny's on the team, because Dalton Knecht is really a high-profile rookie. Lakers got him at 17, was being projected up to 6 overall. No one thought Dalton Knecht would be in the Lakers. I remember on draft night, every single team's fan boards on Bleacher Report were like, why is this guy still available? Take him. And, fell into Pelinka's lap. It's like the Bronny storyline kind of allows Dalton Knecht to just grow a little bit and become a really good player, because he was a 4-year starter at Tennessee, dropped 39 points against Purdue in the tournament, went off against Zach Edey in that kind of great lineup. He's going to be really good, and it's kind of nice that he's not being asked to come in right now and be like, I need 20 points. I need 15 points. And they're just kind of letting him grow. But I totally agree. I know people are saying in the chat, I think 15 minutes is too low, 25, 30 minutes. He adds a lot. And I like what he did.
Vlad says 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But can I tell you this 25 minutes, if you're getting 25 minutes as a rookie on a team that's expected to, make a little bit of noise, that has some pretty good depth.
Yeah.
You must be a pretty damn good player. Like that's not unless you were a top 5 pick. A lot of teams will play their rookies because they're trying to sell some tickets and they're trying to hype up who this guy's going to save the franchise. Knecht's not in that position with the Lakers, but if you're getting 20 to 25 minutes, I don't think people should be complaining about his playing time.
No, totally. And I think that kind of his playing time early will depend on Gabe Vincent. Does Gabe Vincent kind of become the reliable player that we saw with Miami? We didn't get to see him much last year. Obviously, hurt for most of the time. Came back with 2 weeks to go in the season and could never really find his footing. And if he struggles, I think you're going to see Knecht a lot more earlier. I think if Vincent, because they are a little bit similar player, obviously Knecht's bigger, but can hit threes. I think it does depend on his time right now on if how Gabe Vincent's playing.
All right, Marquise Cooper. I know he's a rookie, but he's not acting like one. He has 25 minutes of game confidence. I like that. Listen, of all the players on this Lakers roster, Dalton Knecht is one that you could just tell Laker fans are excited about.
Yeah.
I think that's only going to grow, and I think for him, the one thing that I think is my favorite attribute of Dalton Knecht, he feels like he belongs. He has this kind of mindset of, no, this is what I do. Like, he doesn't seem surprised by it. He doesn't. He's a player. Actually, I don't like the comps when I hear people saying, and I've heard this, they're like, it's so great to have JJ Redick as his head coach because they're both shooters. He's not just a shooter. JJ Redick was just a shooter. JJ Redick was sniper, come off a screen. That was his game. I think Knecht get to the basket. I think he could draw fouls. I think he can size you up and take you one-on-one if he needs to, on top of everything else that we were talking about with his shooting ability.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I can't wait to see what he continues. And I think that you're seeing a little bit more importance on guys that played 3 to 4 years in college. You saw it with Jaime Jaquez last year at UCLA. People kind of dropped him down draft boards. It was like, he doesn't really do anything great. He's not some elite scorer, some elite shooter. And kind of Dalton Knecht was the same thing. You heard about he's a great shooter, but he doesn't really play great defense. And he's old, even though he's 22 years old. That was like a narrative going into the draft. I think you're seeing taking these guys that are high upside, but that are 19, that played one and done at college. It's not even translating as much, and it's taking years to kind of get them in the league. And you're seeing a kind of reversal where it's like taking a guy who's been there for 3 to 4 years and played in big games, played in March Madness, and maybe just a little more mature body, to just play
they're ready. The transition is the transition's a lot different. I mean, think of a 19-year-old dude versus 23. 4 years is a huge difference of your experience, your road, the path that you took. I think that's actually a good comp here. I think this comment is specifically for you. Laker fans are silly for still hating Darvin Ham. This is so petty. They're coming at you. They're coming at you, Sam.
At me. I'm a hater.
Okay, you have your video coming up a little bit later today. What's your thoughts? We got a chance to see Suns played their first game yesterday against the Clippers. Just your quick thoughts, quick analysis. Lakers, Suns tomorrow. What's your take there?
Watching the Suns last night against the Clippers, it was a lot of the same for me with the Suns. They can beat anybody because when Booker and Durant go off and they want to have huge games, yeah, that's two of the best players in the NBA, and they're tough to beat. I don't see a ton of depth with that team right now. And, that Clipper team was shorthanded. No Kawhi, obviously. Harden. I know they were juiced up playing their first, into a dome, new arena. But I don't know. I think if you simply just get Kevin Durant or Devin Booker in foul trouble early, or don't let them each get 40, don't let them each get 30 plus, I think this team's very limited. I was really surprised that ESPN had them at 8 in the power rankings and not just being a homer on the Lakers.
They had them. So if we just do the West, just because I think it's easier to kind of see where they were, I think they had them 6th in the West after Memphis. I agree with you. If you told me right now you're going in a 7-game set, Lakers or Suns, they had Golden State in front of the Lakers as well, which I disagree with. I'm with you that I think the Suns are overrated right now.
Yeah, and it's all the talking points I hear for the Lakers about how LeBron's older, why they won't win, and AD always gets hurt, and where's the supporting cast at? The Suns have no supporting cast. The Lakers have an exciting rookie in Dalton Knecht. They have a guy in Gabe Vincent coming back. Jared Vanderbilt hasn't even played yet.
They need Vando. Christian Wood, if he could find ways to contribute.
I mean, the roster's so much better, and the Suns are just people. I think the media loves the big three kind of idea, even though it's not really a big three anymore because Beal's not what he once was. They love that whole narrative, that whole thing about these 3 stars. I'm like, look at the teams that won titles, the Nuggets and the Celtics. They're deep rosters.
We're losing Sammy here. We're losing Sammy.
You're losing me?
Sammy's internet it's
people are logging on. I gotta go yell.
Okay. No, listen, I think that's a great analysis. I had Tommy who put this out there, and thank you for the super, Tommy. Good morning, Slee. Let's go Padres, he says there. I think he says Padres there. I think he has Padres right there. How good do you think Dalton Knecht will be? We talked a little bit about it. I think the guy's got incredible upside. I mean, I don't want to overhype the guy. I really don't want to overhype the guy, but I think the Lakers, everybody is basically saying, yeah, Lakers got a guy in that draft that should have gone a lot earlier. Okay, just because I'm going to throw in a quick baseball one here for you. For those who don't know, I saw this a little bit earlier. I'm going to just share it with you guys. Freddie Freeman expects to be 100% go for Game 1 of the World Series. Doesn't mean that he's 100% healthy. It just means that, I'll read the exact quote. I don't think there's any question in anybody's mind that I'll be in the lineup for Game 1. Dodgers will host Game 1 of the World Series against the Yankees tomorrow from Dodger Stadium. Your initial thoughts, by the way, tomorrow, just to give everybody a heads up, tomorrow I will be doing a full Game 1 preview. Dodgers Nation, Doug, as you guys saw, what was that now? Maybe about 2 weeks ago came on. He runs Dodgers Nation. He's going to come on here, and we're going to spend pretty much most of the day tomorrow previewing Dodgers and the Yankees Game 1 and previewing the series. So please tune in for that tomorrow. If you're a huge baseball fan and you're obviously excited about the series coming up, I got you covered tomorrow on that. Sammy, I know you're a big baseball fan. I know you're just a sports fan in general. What are some of your initial takeaways as the Dodgers Yankees get ready to get underway tomorrow?
Well, I can't wait. I'm so excited. This is kind of I know Slee, you didn't want it, but this is kind of the World Series that everyone was looking for. It's just stars on stars. I hear a lot of
I preferred Padres Guardians. I mean, I think that's an underrated matchup that not enough people are talking about. Padres Guardians would have been bonkers. It killed it with the ratings.
Getting that Cleveland audience, that Ohio audience, would have just gone crazy.
So you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I hear you come from. No, it's so exciting. Obviously, just people touch on all the lineups, the stars, with Mookie and Shohei and Freddie and Teoscar versus Stan, Judge and Soto and all them. But I think it's really going to come down to pitching. And I hear a lot of it. I take a lot of the World Series predictions as a grain for salt because all of them are honestly from New York. So I've heard like every.
Well, okay, so is everyone leaning towards the Yankees, or because I thought Dodgers are the favorites?
The Dodgers are the favorites in Vegas, and that should tell you something. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of pundits. Everyone's talking about, everyone on ESPN. They're up in Bristol, they're up in New York, so of course they're picking the Yankees. And all I'm hearing about is the Dodgers pitching. Well, the Dodgers pitching, Stanton and them are going to feast off it. The Dodgers had a way tougher road to the postseason. The Padres, not to tout your boys, were probably the most all-around talented team with the Dodgers pitching staff hurt. Had the Dodgers up, down 2-1, and the Dodgers were able to play them. That felt like a World Series series. The Mets were the other hottest team in baseball with hitters. And, the Royals were kind of an upstart team. Bobby Witt Jr., they weren't some great team. The Guardians really weren't. Their starting pitching was really bad.
No, the path for the Dodgers in the NL, I agree with that. I agree. And that's without, obviously the Dodgers got to avoid Philly, but New York was arguably the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, and you're seeing like this kind of murder's row of batters with what the Padres had in the Mets. I'm excited to see. I'm really excited to see what the roster comes in. I think Alex Vesia is a huge deal for this series. Left-handed pitcher out of the pen. He's been with the Dodgers for a while. He's gotten exponentially better. With Soto, the only left-handed arm is Anthony Banda right now. So it would be nice for the Dodgers if Vesia were to be able to go. He missed that series against the Mets because he got hurt in the Game 5 against the Padres. I think that's a big deal. I know Brusdar Graterol possibly could come back. I know he hasn't pitched in a while, but it adds some fresh arms to the pen. And I think the Dodgers are being overlooked because of the pitching woes. And quietly, Yamamoto's been really good. Quietly, Buehler's been excellent. And if you take, even if you look at the Padre game, he gave up 6 runs. Outside of the 2-run blast at Tatis, I know it's ifs and buts.
Yeah, no, a lot of that wasn't on him. I agree with you.
The air, Freddie Freeman threw it off Machado, so it's kind of. I think Walker Buehler is becoming good now. Jack Flaherty, we'll see tomorrow night. That was a rough outing against the Mets. Hopefully that's he kind of gets his fastball under control because I saw it dip velocity a couple miles per hour. But I'm excited. It's gonna be a great series.
All right, everybody relax here. Jesus.
We're getting ready. It's game time tomorrow.
What's going on here? Got everybody hallucinating here. Here's the one thing I will say. I think from you were talking about the pitching and the arms. Only question I have for the Dodgers is those arms got them this far. And what they have left will be the question. Now, you got a lot of time. I mean, basically it's 5 days since they pitched. So, obviously your pen's going to be healthy. Yamamoto full rest, Flaherty full rest, Buehler full. Everybody is going to have, from that perspective, I think that's solid. But I do think at the, obviously at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to who gets outs. You got so many unbelievable bats on both sides. Usually you're not going to be depending on what the Dodgers put up against the Mets. I don't think you're going to see again, where they scored 46 runs. You have games where they got a 10 spot, an 8 spot, a 9 spot, all that stuff. I don't think that's going to keep happening. So, obviously, I think that part is going to be a big deal.
I also think this comment, Teoscar was huge against the Yankees during the regular season series. So true. We had like 3 homers in that one series. He homered in every game, or 4. I can't remember, something like that. He obviously was great against the Padres, was non-existent against the Mets. So it's really going to come down to, Tommy Edmonds proving himself to be an elite player, I think. I think we can kind of take that narrative off him that it's kind of a 1 or 2 game thing. He's really coming up big. But Teoscar's got to get going, and I think he will.
But you can't – I think the problem with that is you can't really depend on players. Are you going to depend on Tommy Edman to do what he just did again? Probably not. But Teoscar, you can depend on, right? Like Teoscar is one of those players where you say, okay, if he was cold, he's eventually going to get hot. All right, brother. I appreciate you spending some time here, getting on here like you did. Thank you for doing this. keep an eye out. Sammy, about 8 o'clock, we'll drop the video, maybe even a little bit earlier. We'll drop the video of the preview. Lakers getting ready to take on the Phoenix Suns tomorrow. Sammy will have you covered. He'll get you all that information.
Awesome. Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, that's Sammy Long right there. All right, I got one more thing I want to do, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. I know people are gonna say, "Hey, Al, it's we're 4 minutes past your scheduled show." I'm working overtime. Sometimes I want to work overtime. I got one question for NBA Laker fans out there and everything else. This is going to be a Clipper topic, by the way. Last night, the Clippers opened up their new arena. I'm going to share a quick screen with you. Steve Ballmer was in, what do they call it, the wall or something like that. Let's take a quick listen. This is kind of one of the unique features of their arena. This is Steve Ballmer. All right, you guys got a piece of it there. I'm not really sure what the hell they're doing. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not sure what they're doing. I thought I heard NO. They said I hear NO. I don't know what's going on. Listen, I'm gonna give the Clippers, give them a shot, give them an opportunity here. But I got to be honest with everybody. It was pretty anticlimactic that they had their season starting yesterday in this brand new stadium, $2 billion stadium. Steve Ballmer has more money, literally, than small countries out there. We know that guy's got a commitment to winning. I'll give Clippers a credit in that side. They clearly want to win. Here's a problem with the Clippers. If you came out to the game yesterday, you were basically watching James Harden. I get, everybody, whatever we're doing, you get these like ads that are served to you. And I never get anything for Lakers because they're not trying to sell tickets. They're good. They already got tickets. Clippers are trying to sell tickets. Clippers on the front of their ticket sales was Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Number one, James Harden is not going to go sell me tickets. That's not going to get me to an arena. Kawhi Leonard, we know his issues with his health, and we're not sure when he's going to come back. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard is going to be a big piece for them. They lost Paul George in the offseason. That was pretty much their choice. You got this new era of Clippers basketball that started last night. Listen, they got their own stadium. For the first time, they have their own identity. For the first time, they got toilets. There's toilets everywhere. Go ask Steve Ballmer. There's toilets everywhere. For the first time, they have their own identity. They're not sharing an arena with the Los Angeles Lakers. I remember there were a lot of Laker fans that were really ticked off when Doc Rivers decided, I'm covering up those Laker banners, this and that. I actually didn't have a problem with it. Like they're in clearly crypto.com, Staples Center. That's for the Los Angeles Lakers. Anybody after that is a tenant that really is not as much focused on. Kings are a good tenant there. Obviously, there's a good fan base for the Kings. But the point that I'm trying to make is here they are really trying to build their own identity. And whatever it looked like, whatever their hope was the last couple of years, I cannot imagine whatever their vision was what it was last night. I saw somebody on here, and I actually did look because I was curious. And listen, I'm not. I want everybody to know. Yes, I'm a Laker fan. I'm not trying to take a shot at the Clippers. What I'm basically saying is that could not have been their vision. Obviously, it wasn't their vision to have Kawhi Leonard injured. I already did a video on that a couple of days ago that I feel really bad for Kawhi Leonard. But James Harden was kind of the, hey, that's the guy. Who the hell cares about James Harden at this time? You know what I'm saying? That honestly, like, who the hell cares about James Harden at this time? If basically right now, if I go to that new arena, I'm going for two reasons. Let me tell you what I'm going for. I'm going because, number one, I have not seen that arena, and I'd like to see it. I think anytime a team opens up a new stadium, I think it would be cool to see that arena. The second reason why I'm going is because they're playing the Lakers. That would be my reason of why I go to the new arena. I'm going because, first off, I need to fact check and make sure if this guy is going to go out of his way. Let me do this real quick here. Hey, just stay with me here for a second, okay? We just freaking relax here for a quick second. Okay. If this guy, I got to do, you guys know, I'm a respected journalist. And being a respected journalist, I swear on my life, if I get there.
1,160 toilets and toilets! 1,160 toilets and urinals! 3 times the NBA average number of toilets and urinals. We do not want people waiting in line. We want them to get back to their damn seats. Toilets!
I don't know why that makes me laugh, man. I don't know.
Toilets!
I don't know why that makes me laugh. But when I go to that arena, when I go to that stadium, I will walk around. I'm counting every toilet. Because if this guy is lying about the amount of toilets, we're going to have an issue. We're going to have an issue. That's number one. Number two, the other reason why I'm going to be at that stadium is because the team that they're playing. You know, this used to happen a lot. And I'm not telling you that this doesn't happen to other teams. I'm not telling you this it doesn't happen, but in the past, I got to have this just on
toilets. 1,160 toilets.
1,160 toilets. In the past, this has happened, right? It's not that uncommon for teams to be marketing other teams is why you go to a game. I get that. I understand that. But that's kind of where the Clippers are right now. They're kind of back to that. They have an owner that's got more money than literally every other NBA owner combined. Or I think it's NFL owner. I can't remember which one it is. But the reason why you're going to go to one of these games right now, the vision that they initially had, this is not the vision. And part of that has to do with their decision to not re-sign Paul George. The other part of it has to do with just bad luck that Kawhi Leonard's injured again. Ty Lue is a damn good coach. That front office has a good front office. I mean, they will find ways to be competitive, and they'll play hard and everything else. But you're not going for that. You kind of find yourself, if you went to the game yesterday, you're going because of the new stadium, or you want to see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I don't know who they're playing next. And I see people putting on here what the ticket prices are. And I looked, I went to SeatGeek before the show started. I saw some tickets were $60, $75. It depends on the opponent. I think they had a game against the Utah Jazz was $35. That cannot be what their initial vision was, but it is kind of the current situation for the Los Angeles Clippers. Commitment to winning doesn't add up if you got Kawhi on your roster in 2024. No, I think Kawhi Leonard was their long-term plan. And listen, Kawhi played over 65 games last year. And Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, the problem is when he's healthy. All right, let me see what else is here. Clippers should have gone to Seattle. I see a lot of that. I don't disagree. I do think they would have had, they'd have owned that entire market. Here, you don't have that market. What you have is you got a lot of people live in LA. Then a lot of toilet talk. 1,160. Bomber, I want you to know something. I swear on my life, if you don't have 1,160 toilets, because I will eventually work my way up to the Intuit Dome. And I'm going to take my pad of paper right here. Okay? I'm going to take my pad of paper, and here's what I'm going to do. When I get every toilet, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if that doesn't add up to 1,160, if the total is not 1,160 toilets, I just want you to know there's going to be a lawsuit like you've never seen. Okay, look at this. 5. Every one I'm going to cross, toilets 1,160. As God is my witness as I sit here and do the sign of the cross. This is a message to Steve Ballmer. If you have 1,159 toilets, I'm going to have such a lawsuit that's coming after. Look at me challenging a guy that's worth $150 billion. You better have 1,160 toilets. You better have 1,160 toilets. I think we should end the show on the 1,160 toilets. Parking prices are insane. Are the toilets heated? I don't know. You ever want to go to the greatest bathroom situation in the world? Go to Japan. Go to Japan. What are we doing? Where did we go wrong? And Japan just has it completely down. Toilets are they're heated. You want to play some music, you can play some music. I'm not kidding here. Literally, there's music that you can play that I don't know if it's coming from the toilets. I don't know. I've been to Tokyo twice. Incredible. Amazing. All right, enough of the toilet talk. We're done. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Tomorrow, Doug McCain from Dodgers Nation. He's going to join the show tomorrow morning. If you're excited about Dodgers, Yankees, and that series starting, tomorrow will basically be a preview of the World Series. I'll do some stuff before and after. We'll hit on a little bit of Lakers and the Suns. Rams got a game tonight, so we're going to do that as well. And that is all I got. One more message to him. Bomber, if you're watching right now, if you don't hit 1160 toilets, this is going to be one of the biggest lawsuits that Southern California has ever seen. Do you know the power that I have? I don't care how much you're worth. I swear on my life, if you don't have 1,160 toilets. All right, guys. Get the hell off the page. That's it. What if I don't end it? I just wait for everybody just to leave. But get the hell out of here. Solid show today, by the way. Over 300. So thank you very much for coming on. 8 a.m. tomorrow. We'll do this again. Doug McCain, Dodgers Nation. We're going to break down Yankees and the Dodgers. Appreciate it, guys. A lot of love to everybody here. Hope you guys have a great day. Go make it happen today. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.